It is a common term used a lot, the leaky gut,
Right.
but not all of us really know what exactly leaky gut is, how it's affecting us. So, what exactly is a leaky gut?
In order to understand leaky gut, we have to understand how the digestive system works and what is the role of small intestine.
And why does that happen, I think?
So there are a lot of reasons. Stress causes leaky gut a lot. The westernization of the diet and the empty calcs that we have, the
It's
lack of
wrong food again. But what are the complications and how does it affect us? I'm in the process of healing my gut, and you can heal your gut. Hi, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Take 20. I hope you have been finding our wellness related content helpful. Today, we are going to be discussing a topic that seems to be of great interest to all of you, and it has high prevalence in today's society. It is a common term used a lot, the leaky gut,
Right.
but not all of us really know what exactly leaky gut is, how it's affecting us. And we do know, however, that there is a high chance of chronic diseases when you have a leaky gut, and also to a certain degree there's a correlation between a leaky gut and autoimmunity. I don't think we can fully function at our best with a leaky gut, so I thought that this topic was important to discuss, Alkesh. So what exactly is a leaky gut?
First of all, Sam, I was really happy to see that our viewers are so literate about health and take their health seriously, because a topic like leaky gut is not something that is a common awareness. It is a buzzword that is thrown around
Yeah,
nowadays.
nowadays I
But
hear it a lot.
yeah,
For any kind of disease or any kind of ailment, there is you do have a leaky gut. The word is thrown around a lot.
yeah.
So
And the surprising thing is, few years before, it was not recognized. Some experts thought that it was more of a sham kind of a thing and doesn't really happen. There is nothing called as a leaky gut. There is slowly and steadily awareness increasing about it as researches are coming out. Doctors are recognizing it as well. And in a few years' time, there should be treatment plan devised in order to tackle that. But until then, generating more awareness around it, equipping people with knowledge about it is going to help a great deal. And it is preventive knowledge and curative knowledge both.
what would you say is the percentage of your clients who would have a leaky gut? I know I'm included in that.
Yeah.
And I know my friends are as well. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking this percentage is high.
Let me put it this way. If a client is visiting me for an autoimmune disorder, for autoimmunity,
100% leaky gut.
yes, I would not, I for the sake of keeping a cushion, I always say 90 to 95%, but each and everyone has a manifestation of leaky gut as an autoimmune disorder. I'm not saying it will be true for everyone, but in my experience, my practice, that has been the case. And many a times, client might not be aware that they have leaky gut, but I ask them to fill a questionnaire or a survey form, and they rate their digestive health and what they're going through, what food just trigger their digestive dysfunction, how they feel mentally, how they feel physically, and it is fairly conclusive from that they might be going through it. That's why I feel more awareness and more understanding needs to be around it, and I'm really glad that we have chosen this topic to talk about.
So what is exactly the leaky gut?
In order to understand leaky gut, we have to understand how the digestive system works and what is the role of small intestine, because leaky gut happens because of small intestine, or leaky gut happens in the small intestine. So our digestion starts in the mouth. When we chew food, saliva gets mixed in the food, it goes
That's
down.
also something that I recently learned, that digestion starts in the mouth,
Yeah.
and which is why you need to chew your food slowly and not like swallow, because you're bypassing one of the processes.
Yeah. And also, saliva is really important, because if the food is chewed well and amalgamated with saliva well, it's going to be easier to digest than not. So, digestion begins in the mouth, it travels down, it is broken down by stomach acid and then bile. Once the food is fairly broken down. It goes into the small intestine. Now, the structure of small intestine is such that it is really long, but it is also really thin. And it is placed in the body in such a way that it has folds to it
Mhm.
internally. And it has two main things to do. Along with other things, the two main functions of it are A, to keep all the things that should not enter the system out, pathogens,
Filter. So it's like a filter.
filter, yeah. And also, since it's very thin, it is also used to absorb the nutrients and calories from the food. So the analogy I like to give to my client is, think of it as a coffee filter. We just want to percolate things through it, what we want to, and the rest thing have to be kept outside of it. And also, it is very important to think of the digestive system as a tube. That means it is still not inside of the body, it is outside of the body. And once the food,
What do you mean it's not inside, it's outside of the body?
so let's just say, if we take an example of a tunnel,
Hmm.
things are passing through it. And in this process, things are happening to the food. It's being broken down, nutrients are being absorbed, things are being filtered out, and it goes away from the other end, which we do not want.
Okay, yeah, got it.
So even though it's inside of the body, it's not technically
It's
inside.
functioning as a separate unit.
Yes, it's
Right.
it's functioning as a separate unit, and things that pass through it undergoes processes which allow us to have calories, nutrition, and all those things, and filter out things
Okay.
from that. Now, what leaky gut is, since small intestine is very thin, things that are supposed to be staying outside of the body, that is still within the still in the tube, seep in. They leak inside,
Things leak into the body through the small intestine. Okay.
which are not supposed to be going in.
Ah,
That's
okay.
why the technical term for leaky gut is intestinal permeability, or rather increased intestinal permeability, because it increases the permeability of the intestine, and things which will normally not pass through into our bloodstream, they pass through. So that would what leaky gut be.
And so, okay. And why does that happen, I think?
So there are a lot of reasons. The number one is the westernization of the diet and the empty calories that we have, the
It's
lack of.
wrong food again.
It's wrong food. Wrong food had in a way, like you have it on a daily basis or day in and day out, multiple times a day. That is what causes leaky gut. Along with that, if the bacterial balance, the balance of good bacteria to bad bacteria is altered in the gut, it is called as gut dysbiosis in technical terms. That causes leaky gut. Rampant and unsupervised use of antibiotics causes that. Use of medication, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, even steroidal drugs cause leaky gut. Stress causes leaky gut a lot.
How? I mean, how does stress cause a leaky gut?
That's a great question. Recent studies and researchers have understood, they have understood this before, but it's getting more cemented now, that there is this connection between the gut and the brain called as the gut-brain axis. And there is a nerve called as vagus nerve.
I hear this a lot as well.
Yeah.
I hear this a lot.
So it is like a highway, a communication highway between the gut and the brain.
Is the vagus nerve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just to simplify the understanding of it. And if things are not good in the gut, it affects the brain. If things are not good in the brain, it affects the gut. So it's a bi-directional relationship between gut and stress. Stress can trigger leaky gut can trigger stress.
So you're saying, like, if I go through mood swings, it could also be due to a leaky gut.
Yes, if it's non-hormonal.
Non-hormonal.
Yes.
It could also be because of my gut. So that's, and you know, you always say gut instinct, because see, your gut is also another brain, almost. Or you're saying, or because of the connection between the gut and the brain, you use the word gut instinct. Why do people say gut instinct?
Now, this might go outside of the traditional modality.
I like to go outside of the tradition. I've been doing that a lot. We've been getting into a lot of trouble, but
Mm.
well, I'd just like to take that moment to say that we are very open to another person's point of view. We're here to learn, and we're not here to get into battle with anyone or impose our views on anyone. We're only here to share, to learn ourselves, because at the end of the day, the more we learn, the more we grow as people, and the
Yeah.
more we can help ourselves and others as well. So
Yeah.
I think that everyone has, if the information is available, it's always up to you as to what you do with this information. Does it agree with your views? Is it not really your kind of topic?
Mm.
I think we're here to just share, and really, very open to learning
Mm.
new things. If you have something new to teach me, that's why when I see the comments, when I read the comments, I do my research from your comments. I do my own research. I ask Kalkesh, what do you think about this? Could we be wrong about this? Or could we be right? There's no hard and fast rule that we are right. We are all here to learn. We are here to share. We're here to listen. So, guys, we're on the same team.
Yeah.
Coming back to gut instinct.
Coming back to gut instinct, there are good amount of studies, may not be clinical researches, but good amount of studies that suggest that it could very well be true that we can sense through our gut. And if a person is centered and is in good gut health, the gut instincts mostly are true.
Wow, what
Yeah.
are you saying?
Yeah. So there could be properties, for a lack of better term, that allow us to sense and receive information through the gut. And we can use our brain to decipher and understand what that sensation or feeling could be. So yeah, gut instinct definitely exists for sure.
Yeah, I think my entire career is based on gut instinct. So I'm
Mm.
probably a true believer in gut instincts. So yeah, we're going off topic a bit, but
Yeah.
it's okay. So we discussed what exactly is the leaky gut, and how it's also connected to the brain
Yeah.
as well. So, and you also said that these are the causes. It
Yeah.
could be bad diet, it could be too much stress, it could be overuse of antibiotics and painkillers. And
And also sleep. Sleep also has a bi-directional relationship with leaky gut. If you have leaky gut, your quality of sleep is going to be affected. If the quantity of sleep is not affected, and if you have lack of sleep, it can manifest into a leaky gut. And again, bi-directional relationship. If you have leaky gut, if you're not sounding sleep, it can again cause leaky gut, and that can also be a continuous cycle. And
is it
that's
because
why,
when you sleep, your body is repairing, and when you don't sleep, those functions are not happening?
to be honest, the mechanism of that is still not understood. But if I were to take a best guess, that could be one of the reasons. And also,
Because you repair and restore at night while you sleep, right?
yes, and also lack of sleep is a stressor to the
Brain,
body,
yeah.
and so I think that could also be the reason. It has to be one of the two, for sure.
So what is the leaky gut now? What are the causes of leaky gut? But what are the complications, and how does it affect us?
Yeah,
Because a lot of us don't even know that we have a leaky gut, and we've been living with a leaky gut for the longest time. So why should we care so much?
yeah. So recent understanding is that a leaky gut could be a root cause of most of the chronic illnesses that we have, because most of the chronic illnesses are inflammatory in nature. That means it is a byproduct of systemic inflammation. And once we have leaky gut, things are leaking into the body which should not be there, like we have discussed in the previous episode.
Like, for example, what? Like, what could be leaking? Like, exactly what? Like,
So partially digested food, it can be pathogens, It can be toxins that small intestine will usually filter out and not let
Oh.
in. So once something that should not be let in enters the blood chemistry, the defense mechanism is activated because it's not a safe space. And that's why our immune system launches a system-wide attack, for lack of a better term. And that system-wide attack is mainly and most of the times cause of chronic illnesses that we have. It could include brain fog, it could include joint pain, it could include muscle pain. Gastric discomfort is definitely a part and parcel of that.
Autoimmunity, depression, anxiety.
Yeah, anxiety and depression have been clinically understood. That could be a manifestation of leaky gut. Other mental illnesses too, which we'll be diving into later episodes when we talk about gluten. And also, gluten can be a cause of leaky gut. Although it has not been studied yet on.
But how in India, how can you tell an Indian that you're you are sensitive to gluten? We've lived our entire lives eating gluten every single day. Like how are we suddenly allergic to gluten?
That's a really, really great question. So you have asked 3 great questions. No, that's fine. I am loving this. So traditionally, the wheat that we have been eating, it's completely different from the wheat that we eat now. In the previous time, the wheat that we had, the crop was taller, the yield in the grain was less. And if I were to take a good estimate, it had around 4% gluten in that. Since modernization of agriculture has come in, they have done things to crop synthetically, for a lack of better term. The crops we have now are shorter, has much more yield, and the gluten content in them can be as high as 12%. And this, I believe, was done with a good intention. And these crops are easier to grow, and not a lot of things affect them. And the yield we have is higher. But what it also has done is that it has increased the gluten content in that. And that's why many people telling that we have been eating, my grandma used to eat wheat, which is true. All of us used to eat wheat, but that wheat is not the same as the wheat we have now.
So a little bit of wheat?
Uh,
If you have a leaky gut, a little bit of wheat? A little bit of gluten?
We'll get to that in the next episode and talk about gluten, but because it's a little complicated than that, we
Yeah.
have to understand what gluten
Right,
and
because
everything
it's a staple in every household. And I think that sometimes when we discuss certain issues that people are facing, we can't really eradicate it from their diets and ask them to abstain from eating something that they've been eating all their life. So she was just asking because is there a way around it?
Yeah.
Just to know, to
There
understand that better.
There could be a way around it, but we'll just have to wait for the next episode.
The
when
next
we talk
episode, the
about
next
it.
episode is where we get to the good part as usual.
And also, since we have touched alternative modalities in this video, one very popular alternative modality that many of our viewers follow is Ayurveda, and many Ayurvedic practitioners recommend wheat.
So we discussed the complications arising from it, and in the next episode we get to the good part, which is you can heal your gut. Yeah, I'm in the process of healing my gut, and probably I do feel a lot better actually with certain changes in my diet and just small fixes, not really too big, small fixes. I do feel a lot more, and I have a lot more energy and clarity for sure. Like I always needed like an afternoon break, or if I had 10 tasks to do in a day, I usually I had the energy and the clarity to do maybe 6. But now I can complete all of the tasks in a day, and I'm a lot more energetic. Hardly ever, I don't know if I should be the one commenting on this. Maybe I should ask other people about it, but not too many mood swings or like changes in the mood during the day. Or I'm much more centered, calmer, and relaxed. People make fun of me now for being a little too relaxed and calm. Like, gosh, we want the old Sam back. Yeah, but yeah, I think that it has a lot to do with things that I have tweaked and in my diet and in my lifestyle to get to this place. So I would love for you to share some of those tips and the things that have helped me as well in our next episode, which is an episode on how to heal your gut.